Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda Ward with the Valuable Voices podcast, and I have my dear friend Nancy Molitor here today. I can't wait for you guys to hear from her. No pressure, Nance, but she has just been an awesome inspiration in my life and just a fun, easygoing, positive gal. I mean, she's just anytime you need a laugh, you just Marco Polo or call up Nance, and she's just been a blessing. So welcome, Nance. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Miranda. I'm honored that you asked me to do this. I'm just excited. And I always obviously love just connecting with you.
Yeah. You're definitely just an awesome friend. And it's so cool how we met. I have to share because a mutual friend that we know through our Yoli network marketing company we were with actually called me and said, "Hey, are you getting together anytime soon?" And I was like, "Well, we can anytime. I love to get together with the girls." So she had Nancy as a friend. I guess Nancy can share more, but I think Ed went to college with Jeannie's husband, right? So small world. I just love how God brings people into your life. So Nancy lives maybe 10 minutes from me, and she came over and tried all these products, and we just had a blast. Again, you'll get to know Nancy here. I'm gonna let her do most of the talking, but she just came over, met some of my girlfriends, and I laugh because we've done quite a few road trips and just had a blast from the get-go. She is I just can't see enough positive things. I just love you, girl. So I'm thankful you're here.
Thank you.
Do you remember what's your story of how we met? You were like, knock, knock, knock.
No. So I have no problem, meeting new people, obviously, as you know that, Miranda, by now. And I love meeting new people. But yeah, our first, I literally remember it was like yesterday, and it'll be 3 years in December since, the day that I first tried my first Yoli product. And the biggest thing that I remember, besides obviously meeting you girls, is the greens that you gave me. I never tried greens in my life, first of all. I knew it was good for you, but she gave me a shot of green. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, thank you. And I almost ran out the door. No, just kidding. But no, I just remember you guys being so, you opened your door to somebody that was a complete stranger. You had no idea who I was. You obviously trusted your friend, which was a friend of ours. Yeah. And that's, like you said, I just love how God does bring, people, the whole 6 degrees separation, I really think it's like 3 degrees. Yeah. And how closely sometimes you are connected, and how you meet people that, had you not had a conversation with one other person, you might not have connected the dots to that next person. So you'd open the door and let me try some samples with you and Tip and Angie. It was like love at first sight.
I love you. Well, and I love this because I'm just totally casual. Like, I don't know where we're going. We have no plan, but I'm curious because we talked about it. What made you say yes? Yes to going to a stranger's house. Yes to try something new. Where were you 3 years ago? What made you decide to go for it?
So I've been an athlete all my life. I've never really struggled with weight loss, but I could easily gain and I could somewhat easily lose. So I was always used to, being active, playing sports, in high school, college, and even in my adulthood after graduating. And then the babies came. So I had a couple of them. I have Maddie, she's now 8, and EJ, he just turned 6 a couple weeks ago. So I had that baby weight that I needed to lose. Yeah. So Ed and I, at the beginning, I think it was 18, and me more than anything, I was tired. I was ready to just get healthy again. I knew I wasn't going to have any more children. So I started working out. I started, doing triathlons. And that's kind of where my health gain started at the beginning of that year. And I did end up losing, like in 6-7 months, about 20-ish pounds. Wow. Which was, awesome. Yeah. But I still had some more to go. And Ed and Jeannie and Rick all connected. They went to college together. Yeah. And Jeannie and Rick were obviously doing the Yoli thing. And Ed saw it on Facebook and wondered what it was. It was a cleanse, this, that, and the third. And he heard, all those positive things that happened in their family. And Ed was talking about wanting to do a cleanse as well. So I'm always I trust like, I'm not a researcher by any means. I like to trust the people.
I let somebody else do that.
I let somebody else, those analytical people, they can figure it out. And if I trust that person, I'm going to, go all in and give it a try.
Yeah.
So one, I trusted Ed for putting me in touch with Jeannie. Two, I trusted Jeannie because Ed trusted Jeannie.
Yeah.
Hence, trusting Jeannie to put me in touch with you, I trusted that whole process.
Yeah.
So, that early December, I decided, I said, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. I was in my 40s. Didn't, my metabolism was as slow as a turtle. So I just didn't even think, that it was even possible. So I jumped on a kit, lost a bunch of weights, 22 pounds within 6 weeks, felt amazing. And I was just looking for something to help me. And then I just fell in love with the product. And then it obviously, I jumped in as a part-time hustle.
Why not, right? You work full time now from home, 2 awesome kids, very active. I love the picture of you with Maddie standing in your old pair of pants. It's hilarious. It's my favorite.
You know what? I got to go back. It's been 3 years. I got to see if I can still put her in there.
Oh
and she's growing. Hence, hopefully I stayed about the same. So,
right.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, and you're definitely active. Half the time you're Marco Poloing me on a treadmill running. So how do you stay so active with so many kids and putting yourself first? I love that.
I honestly, after kids, I just really believe, eyes are watching, right? You want to instill in what they see you do, they're most likely going to do themselves. Yes. And I've had it on the good side and I've seen it on the bad side where I was like, oh, I think I might have said that. So I just, I want to be on this, and my whole thing was, I want to be on this earth as long as God willing, will allow me to. And I know being healthy is going to help prolong that. Yeah. Being unhealthy, you never know. You never know what your cards, what lies in your cards in your book of life, Yeah. But I just want to be at my best as often as I can. So I had children later in life, right? I was 38 and 40. Yeah. Ed sometimes, and Ed's in his just turned 50s. Ed will get sometimes, are you dad or grandpa? It's it's one of those things that's, it's obviously feasible to be both. Yeah. So, I got.
Okay, and how do I?
Love it.
Obviously, my recording session is not on my door.
I thought you wanted to come promote his podcast.
yeah, right.
Well, tell us what that is.
I just love being active. I love being healthy, and I love trying to make an example for my, for my children.
Yeah, I love that about you.
And obviously for Ed and our marriage, and everything that comes with it.
I love that. Now, have you always been that way, and then it just kind of caught up with you? Because that's what happened to me when I turned 40. I was like, whoa, what just happened? You've always been a runner. You've done some tries.
Yeah, I've always been active. And then what got me the most unhealthiest is obviously I had a lot of baby weight, and then I stopped eating right and I stopped working out. So I've always had a burning desire just to be active and running, and I love to compete. My daughter was a couple years ago, she was in at Batavia High School shooting contest, and she was probably 5 or 6. I thought I almost tripped one of the kids. I'm like, because this other kid was going to go, and Maddie was in the lead, and this other kid was going to go, and they're like, did he go? I'm like, yeah, he went already.
Oh my gosh, I could totally see you.
I'm just so, I'm just very competitive.
And I just posted something about Maddie in baseball and how competitive she is. She's like a spitting image of you from what I know.
Yeah, I know. And I love it. I'm a clean competitor, right? I don't throw bats. I don't throw helmets. I don't throw, fits. I don't get myself kicked out of games. I get passionate about it, and I respect the game, and I respect people that have to coach and do all that. Sometimes I think sometimes they are knuckleheads, but sometimes it's a hard position that they're put in.
You're definitely passionate. That is a good word for you. And I feel like your husband's that way too, right? So share a little bit about how you guys met. I know he's kind of an athlete and podcast, so share what you want to there too.
So if he hears you say kind of an athlete, he may come over,
sorry.
Miranda, and like kick
Sorry,
you in the
Ed.
shin, but
I don't know exactly. That's what I'm asking.
No, yeah. So yeah, he's been in sports all his life. His dad coached basketball for 30 some years, and he grew up in a gym watching his dad coach at the high school level primarily. Ed played basketball in college. He went to Creighton University, graduated from St. Ambrose. That's where he met Rick and Jeannie.
Yeah.
And was very, very active. He just walked in again. He threw me off. I'm like, "Ooh, better watch what I'm saying." No. We
like, about me. He's like, "What are you saying about me?"
Yeah, we originally met in college where I went to college at Lewis University in Joliet. He was actually an assistant men's basketball coach there, and he also ran intramural sports. So my campus job was helping with intramural sports. I always liked to work. I always, when I could, I was always a believer of just working and taking care of your own and, earning and wanted just responsibilities of, getting money, right? Getting paid. But when I first got to campus, that was one of the first things I did. My coach told me to go see Ed Molitor at the open fair thing that they had, a work fair. And obviously I thought I was entitled, as Ed says, because there was a long line waiting, and I just walked up to the front of the line. I said, "Coach Crow told me to come see, and that, you can give me a job or whatever." So, and that's where I first, and then he gave me a job, right? And that was the first and the last time that he's ever been the boss. And he claims that too. But that's where we met. And I just thought he was a good looking coach on campus. There was nothing ever, romantic or anything.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a good friend of mine. He's shaking his finger. Had a thing for him, but there was nothing like that for me there at that point. Yeah. And then he did his thing. He went to Texas A&M to coach basketball. I graduated, and probably about 6 years in between that time, we ran into each other again at Bernie's, at a Cubs game at Bernie's. And he was literally walking into the men's restroom, and I was walking out, and I'm like, "Hey," I know you.
Of course you said something, because that's just who you are.
Of course, exactly. If I know somebody, I'm going to go, chatter it up with them.
Yeah.
And like they say, from that moment, the rest is history. We've been together ever since. We've had our ups and downs. We've been together for 20 years now. We've known each other, married 14. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, and there's a whole other podcast all in between those years.
Love it.
But yeah, so now he's an entrepreneur. He has his own business. It's coming up on 5 years, and it's strung around leadership. And his platform is based on his experience in corporate America, the mortgage industry, coaching. Those were his recruiting. He was a recruiter, VP of recruiting for another company. So it's kind of all those things combined with the athletic side of it. Yeah. So his whole, platform is the traits and behaviors of elite athletes and elite business people. There's a lot of parallels, and there's a lot of comparisons, and there's a lot of, what one will have, in the business world and have that success.
I love that. Yeah, I'll definitely have to post a link to that. You have to check that out. He's awesome. Okay, so my kids started school today. And I'm just surreal that my kids are going to school and we're doing the math thing and all that, and it's like, I know your kids are in school too. So how are you kind of staying, totally shifting gears, but how are you staying positive through all this? Because again, your kids are watching, and I'm very aware of that, right? So how we respond and how we, our attitude with all of this. So, what are those conversations? How are your kids? How is that whole thing through all of this? What's that look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, from the beginning, back in March, we realized we're all going into something we've never, ever had practice in, or ever been engaged with, or even know how to troubleshoot through. Yeah. So we were just trying, kids not being able to go to school, kids not being able to go to parks, kids not being able to play with friends, us not being able to go out. So we tried, I keep calling it this little bubble that we're in. and I know that there's a lot of other things outside my bubble that, you know,
Right.
unfortunately people that aren't healthy, their job loss, a lot of things, right? So we just tried keeping our bubble as safe and as fun as possible.
Yeah.
And in the first couple months, we had Christmas and Halloween, you know, early in March and April, or April and May, whatever months it was. It's all like a blur.
Yeah, right.
And we were just making it fun for them. We had circus night, we had Christmas one weekend, we had Halloween one weekend. We all dressed up, we played trick or treat, we pulled out all the Christmas stuff, we decorated one room. We didn't do everything, but the dining room was like our focal point of like what we decorated. So we just tried to keep, you know, we tried keeping it fun. And I got something on Facebook, a private message that just kind of blew my mind. And it kind of makes me realize that there's so many different mindsets. There's so many different opinions about things.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm doing something great, pure, awesome, you know, not me, we.
Yeah.
And I got, you know, this question of, do you think you're confusing your kids of having Easter or not Easter, but Christmas and Halloween in the middle of the year? I you know, I was like, you know what? I didn't get mad. I didn't get angry. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate your thoughts. I said, but you know what? I really don't. We really don't. I said, what they might just be a little confused about is they can't play with their friends.
Right.
They can't go to school. They can't do parks. They can't do any of this. And I said, and the biggest thing, they can't even go to church. You know, so I said, those are the things I'm really thinking that they might be a little confused, but until then, you know, we're just going to make them, if we can make them smile, that's.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love that. And you should see her basement. She said they used to play soccer and now it's like the homeschooling virtual home. It's so beautiful. It's like a classroom. I love that. You are such a good mom. And I know Ed's such an amazing dad as well. I love that. I can't believe somebody would even.
That's the best compliment I could ever get.
Seriously, I can't believe someone would actually message you that, but I know you're really.
It just shows mindsets, right? It just shows different,
totally.
You know, and what they might be accustomed to or grown up or what their background. And you can't be mad at that. You can't call it ignorance. You can't call it anything except for it's.
Well, you never know what they've been through or what their story is, right? I mean, who knows?
Right. It's just one person's perspective, and it didn't keep me from, celebrating non-traditional holidays on not the right day. So
yeah. Well, I know you're super into personal development. Again, been positive. Are you always like that? And again, maybe not care. Have you always not cared what people think? Because you are you're just so special. I just love you and I love your heart, and you just make people laugh, and you're just who you are, and you don't apologize about it, which I think a lot of people could strive to be more like that.
I appreciate that, Miranda. I ever since I can remember, I mean, when I was younger, I was just shy, timid, had to do my hair 15 times because it just wasn't right. In high school in particular, I had this, I thought it was fat. I thought, you know, everything that a kid most high schoolers might think of themselves, but I just didn't have a good image of myself. Even though I was very athletic and outgoing and kind of had this bubbly personality, but I always had that like in me. But I always considered myself, I might have heard somebody tell me this one time when I was younger, that I was like an ugly duckling. I was the ugly duckling, that I grew up to be like this beautiful swan. Like, quack, quack on you. I don't remember. I just remember having somebody saying that, like they were just, you know, making a comment. But I've always been a firm believer of, you know, things don't happen to you, right? You don't, you know, it doesn't happen to you. It happens, however that saying goes. But you know, the glass is half empty, or that glass is always half full. And my husband's thing is, and if it is half empty, then you know what you do? You fill it up again.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just, you know, texting family, friends, and this and that. They'll be like, bah humbug, something, this sucks, blah blah blah. Yeah, but you know what? We're alive and we're healthy.
Yeah.
You know, it might. I know I do some of that stuff sometimes, and people are probably like, oh, here goes Nancy. Here goes Miss Positive. But I mean, the alternative is to be miserable about it, and regardless, it's going to be what it is.
Yeah.
So I've just always had that, you know, always looking at the silver lining, and, you know, and I don't know. It, even when things were not good or
Yeah.
stressful, and I just always found a way to just smile and make it better.
But not in a fake way, because some people could
No.
be like, you're totally faking it, but you're really just switching your mindset. Instead of focusing on all the yuck, you're saying,
Right.
look at all these things that we do have and what we're grateful for. I love that. So you can't think of a point in time that like you switched from being this high school worried about yourself and now you're just, what do you think? Do you think it just comes with age? I'm just kind of curious.
I don't know if I have like that defining moment. I
Yeah.
think it came with age
Just growth.
and just confidence and growth. And
Yeah.
when after college, going into the work world, I mean, I've only had 2 careers in my life. I've been with Nextel, which was then Sprint,
Yeah.
Sprint, and then I've been at Comcast for 6 years.
Mhm.
So I like going to companies and just proving myself and getting promoted and just doing well and being a part of a team. I always, in every sports I played, I wanted to be selected the captain. I always
Yeah.
wanted to be the team lead. I always wanted to be the person you go to when the manager's out. So I've always had that want to try to it. Why I do is because I like helping others. I just really just have a heart for wanting to help and problem solve and get through things or grow through things, however you want to look at that. But I think just with age and just experience and just my success that I've had throughout my life.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
You know what else I love is you just turn every situation into fun. I mean, I can think of a couple of times. I don't want to like give your stories away, but one time I think you said you were going downtown and forgot cash. And you just like you made the best of it. You had to park and or maybe you didn't have your wallet or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so funny. I would be like crying and she's just making the best of it.
I mean, you do. You have, I don't believe in looking, I think you'll just bury yourself in sorrow because we all have bad things happen to us. Some worse than others. I mean, I had a stroke at 34. I don't know if you know that or not. And it was stress. It's stress induced, I believe. But I still found a way, to laugh about that, right? And come and grow through that. But the city thing, I mean, it is what it was. What you have to do, and this is a big word going around now, right? You have to pivot. You have to pivot.
I love that. Yeah.
Where you're at. Even you might lose your mind during the moment for a second, and whoever you turn to help, they can help you figure it out. But you're willing to hear the advice, take the advice, and then try to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's just you got a problem, you figure out who how to get it fixed, and you figure out who can help you fix it.
Yeah.
So in the city, I had to call my husband.
You're in control of those thoughts, and you get to pick.
Right.
How you decide to what you focus on and decide how to make the best of it, basically. So yeah.
Right. I could have pulled over, cried, and just stayed there until whatever came. Right. But I went. I parked. I think I forgot my money. No, I forgot my wallet or my card. It was in a different purse or something.
Yeah.
And I had no gas. I had no anything to pay for parking in Chicago. So I called my husband. He helped me figure it out and walk through it in my head. And then I figured, he helped me figure out which way to go. So then I called my sister because she works in the city. My sister wasn't at her office, but her coworker was. So she reached out to her coworker. And by the time I went, parked and got everything, I went and had my meeting. Decent meeting. I didn't make millions off the deal or anything, but it was okay. By the time I was done coming down the meeting, the guy pulled up, gave me an envelope with money. I'm like, opened it up, paid my stuff, PayPal my sister, and then she paid him. And electronic funding is the best thing ever invented. Yes, at the end of the day, it all worked out.
I love it. Awesome, girl. Well, I appreciate you being on again. I just adore you. I love you. You guys need to get to know Nance if you don't know her. I mean, I could go on and talk to you all day because I love you. And we have many, many stories in just the 3 years. I feel like I've known you way longer than that. So thanks for just always being there, making me laugh. just always listening and caring. And yeah, you just have a huge heart. You want to help, you want to love people, and you do it so well. So thank you for just being there. And any parting words for us today on this beautiful day?
It's raining. Finally, our grass is what, you know
I
what?
know.
Silver lining. Our grass needed water, so I'm glad it's raining.
There you go.
Might cancel our softball or baseball games, but you know what? Our grass needed water.
I love it.
So things come when they come when you need them most, I think.
I love it. I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Thanks, Miranda.
Glad to know you. Thanks for being positive, and take notes. If you guys know anybody else, you know, this is one person that is just a valuable voice in my life, and she is just awesome. So if you know anybody else that needs to hear this, share it. If you know anybody else that I need to talk to get others to know, then let me know. Have a great day. Thanks, Nance.
See ya.